Hey guys, PD here. We're checking out another To Us reaction today, very specifically for their first comeback. This is their title track, 내가 S면 넌 나의 N이 되어줘. That is Korean for If I'm an S, be my N. Now, that is a reference to most likely MBTI, which is the hot, prolific cultural thing in Korea. Not just related to romance, but honestly, all aspects of culture, friendships, work relationships, and such. People get hired and not hired based on MBTI. MBTI is a science in Korea. And so if you're Korean, you probably already know what MBTI is. It's a personality type test. For those of you who aren't familiar, even if you're a K-pop fan, you've got to be somewhat relatively familiar with MBTI. But this title, basically what it means is S is for sensing, those who are pragmatic, practical, very present in the moment type of individuals. Whereas, say, 나의 N이 되어줘. N's are imaginative, intuitive, very creative, free thinking. Can you guess which I am? I'm very excited for this. In fact, I would say I'm going in with incredibly scrutinizing high standards. You know why? Because To Us set incredibly high standards for me with their pre-release. Hey Hey is too good. Listen, I reacted to Hey Hey, but then I went through a slew of checking out some bonus drops like their live stages and their dance practices on my Patreon, and I'm obsessed. Hey Hey is so good. So it is the title track, but it's got to be pretty good to be able to beat Hey Hey. So let's check it out. Can't hide To Us pride. You runner.
내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 되줘. 어떤 순간에도 너를 찾을 수 있게. 내가 끌리는 천만 번째 이유를 내일의 우리는 알지도 몰라. 오늘따라 왜 N지 나를 꼽고 성을 빼고 부르는 건 아직 어색해. 너와 나 우리 모여보니까 같은 색 더듬이 가잖아. 창문 너머의 춤을 따라주고 싶어. 좋아하는 걸 함께 좋아하고 싶어. 왼쪽으로 slide 한번 팝밴드 몸이 붕 뜨는 이 기분. 우리라는 말에 서서 있는 걸까. 내 맘이 자꾸 너에게 가려고 해. 내가 애쓰는 넌 나의 N이 되줘. 어떤 순간에도 너를
Wow, this is old school K-pop boy group.
천만 번째 이유를 내일의 우리는 알지도 몰라. 느낌이 와 right now. 10m 위에 너의 나를 땡겨. Wow, wow. 눈이 사로새 hello. 나도 모르게 너의 앞에서 손을 내밀어버린 거야. Yeah, 둥그렇게 앉아서 서로 바라볼 때 눈에 비친 우리의 모습을 좋아해. N과 S 우리는 캐스터 매치. Yeah, 하나가 되는 이 기분. 우리란 말에 서속이는 걸까. 내 맘이 자꾸 너에게 가려고 해. 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 되줘. 어떤 순간에도 너를 찾을 수 있게. 반대가 끌리는 천만 번째 이유를 내일의 우리는 알지도 몰라. 너와 나 표현이 서툴러 티격태격하고 돌아지는 날이 온다 해도 좋아. 맞아, 우린 언제나 서로 곁에 있잖아. 지금 이 순간도 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 되줘. 이 말 한마디가 너무 어려웠지만 너의 이름조차 내겐 특별하니까 오직 너에게만 말할게. 널 마주 보고서 반해 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 있잖아 오늘부터 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 애니 돼줘
The last like 10-20 seconds of this music video just completely recontextualized both this song and this music video's plot for me. I will say largely I was vibing so hard with the song that I'm sure if I was focusing only on the music video, I could have noticed what was going on. I kind of wasn't clear what was going on because I was enjoying it so goddamn much. This sounds very like early to mid 2010s type of K-pop. Sounds very much like the flowery early boy group stuff from way back. And I think them being 17's brother group is very fitting. It doesn't sound like the kind of music that 17 was doing during that era. Theirs was a little bit more, I think, stylish pop. They're going for, I feel like, the kind of boy group pop that was more around during that era, though. And I think it suits them a lot. I will say it felt so refreshing to listen to this that I was kind of distracted from the music video until that very dramatic scene when Shinyu jumps over, which, by the way, I didn't realize he was even vaulting. I thought he was a runner based on the track. But the moment when all the hands reach up to support and push him over, I did have a little, kind of took my breath away type of moment. The way it was shot, the way it was coordinated and directed, and then Youngjae coming in, beating him in like this imaginary like aerial space. It makes me want to go back and rewatch it immediately. So let's do that. Oh my god. His number's 247 because of their name. To us, 24/7 with us. Brilliant. It says caution and victory at the same time. Interesting.
내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 돼줘 어떤 순간에도 너를 찾을 수 있게
That is quite incredible.
내일의 우리는 알지도 몰라 오늘따라 왠지 말이 꼬여 성을 빼고 부리는 건 아직 어색해 너와 나 우리 모여보니까
I like the incorporation of Choon's name in the actual song. What? Hold on. Okay, so what the heck is going on? Is it because Kyungmin feels awkward that he just ran away and replaced himself with a dummy?
내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 돼줘 어떤 순간에도 너를 찾을 수 있게 반대가 끌리는 천만 번째 이유를 내일의 우리는 알지도 몰라 느낌이 와 right now Cinematography 너의 나
Basically, everyone dates class.
눈이 사로새 나도 모르게 너의 앞에서 손을 내밀어버린 거야 둥그렇게 앉아서 서로 바라볼 때 눈에 비친 우리의 모습을 좋아해 N과 S 우리는 캐스터 매치 하나가 되는 이 기분 우리란 말에 자속이는 걸까 내 맘이 자꾸 너에게 가려고 해 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 돼줘 어떤 순간에도 너를 찾을 수
Hold on.
넌 나의 N이 돼줘 어떤 순간에도
There
너를 찾을
all just like sticking their name tags on the wall, saying "Go High." Maybe they're all in preparation of trying to support him as he's getting ready for this. Ooh, that shot. Hold on, that shot when it goes to Kyungmin right there. Oh, that is... that shot is brilliant. That's so intense. Their choreo is so intense. Okay, this moment in the music video is so magical. Wow. First of all, it's shot and it's lit so brilliantly. It looks very, very beautiful. I think what makes this music video so fantastic, the payoff, it's a lot of B-roll of them just having fun and being friends, but ultimately what it leads up to and how it links into the song, I think, is quite simple, but there's a brilliantness in that simplicity. Ultimately, the song, they're saying 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 되어줘. And they're saying how even that small phrase was really hard for me to say. With S's, sometimes it's hard for the MBTI. With the S's, it's hard for them to really give a lot of their emotional vulnerability or like emoting like the full depths of how they feel. Even though they feel those things, it's just ends are a little bit more in their head. And so that's why it's easier for them to imagine things and such. And so it's interesting how all of his friends, so basically if Shinyu in this situation is the S in this situation, and if everyone else is an N, everyone is very supportive of Shinyu's competition, and they're all sort of like, quote unquote, practicing sort of being able to control, being able to move, whether it's telekinesis or something similar. Basically, they're practicing throughout, and then it finally culminates in this moment where they do so. And then it's very beautiful in that whether Youngjae's in the classroom, either taking a test or he's got like after school, studies, whatever it is, he sees the meet going on and he wants to support his friend. And so he runs at the same time. But because all of their imaginations are so wild, that it propels them into this sort of magical moment. And even the S in this situation feels the magic of that he feels their sort of imaginary hands on him. And maybe what they do actually succeeds. And it propels him and pushes him. And Youngjae goes through that imaginary portal and pulls him, hurdles him all the way. And this is all figurative. It's sort of all in Shinyu's head, so to speak. But it's sort of the S's, the pragmatic person's perspective of why the opposite is so important, how that opposite personality, how that person complements them, and how ultimately Shinyu is able to succeed and make it over the edge because of basically having his because of having this imaginary scenario, but because of having his N-based friends, his more imaginative friends, push him over. And ultimately that kind of bleeds into him also being a little bit more imaginative as well. I think it feeds into this idea of how we sort of complete one another as individuals. 있잖아 오늘부터 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 N이 되줘
애니 돼줘
Wow.
오늘부터 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 애니 돼줘
It's even at the end of the choreo, the way Toon is completely dancing the opposite way of them, sort of like the whole opposites attract thing, as they so heavily talk about in this song. Okay, well, that was fantastic. 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 애니 되죠. I'll say this. I still love Hey Hey a lot more. That is not to say that this song was not good. In fact, I think this song was fantastic. I think there is still something about Hey Hey, even that music video, especially that last moment with like the bright light as they're dancing on the beach. There is something very emotional. And I mean, this music video is pretty emotional too, but there is something about Hey Hey where there's a magical aspect of that speaks to me personally. I think it's a very personal thing that I like Hey Hey a lot more. But 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 애니 되죠. I think it's also maybe that this music video is a lot more narrative driven as opposed to being more performer driven. There are really, really cool shots in here, especially that ending shot with Kyungmin. I mean, any shot with Kyungmin always just stands out. Even the, hold on. Jumping back real quick, even that around the middle. No, I think it's actually around here. Oh my god. Yeah, like that move, this move, and this part right here. The choreo looks insanely fun, and it definitely makes me want to check out the live stage choreography. So they do a successful job in making me like, okay, I have to go see what more is brought to the table here. But the music video is largely narrative driven, less performative driven than say something like Hey Hey. And I really like the gutsy sort of like relentless, reckless nature of Hey Hey. That's a lot more emotionally evocative. So do not take my comparison of the pre-release towards this as any sort of criticism towards 내가 애쓰면 넌 나의 애니 되죠. It's just two completely different things, and I just love Hey Hey a lot more. I also think I might have a soft spot because it's like the music video that really, I think, made me fall for these guys. Like I loved their debut. Don't get me wrong. I loved their debut. It was fantastic. But Hey Hey was definitely crucial and instrumental in me learning their names. They really whisked me off my feet. It was very, very magical. You know, if you don't follow me on Patreon, Youngjae's my favorite for now. But Youngjae and Jiwon are my favorite. That list might keep increasing. But I think I'm not saying this music video is any worse than the other, because definitely the narrative story-driven aspect of this music video really makes it feel a lot more special and magical in a completely different way. It's more about them and less about what the emotions evoke in you. But at the same time, I think it's really interesting how the lyrics can both... They could imply like a romantic relationship, but it also works perfectly within the context of a friendship, as they showcase through the music video here. So I think, you know, MBTI being lyrically used in songs now, it's definitely becoming a little bit more common. This is like a straight up concept for it. Last time I remember a song that straight up was very much like that was ISFJ by Dream. But yeah, I love their cinematography style. Their cinematography style is still very consistent. It's not exactly the same as their Hey Hey video, which is completely fine. It's still very similar to the Hey Hey video, but the way they tend to light these boys and make them look, they go for a very, very beautiful color grading style, which complements the cinematography. They go for a nostalgic look in the color grading. If you look, there's a bit of like a vintage film aesthetic look to their music video. And I think that largely complements what they're going for. They're young boys. They're in, I'm going to assume these are high school uniforms. High school uniforms. And ultimately, I think it makes them a lot more nostalgic and a lot more appealing in that way. Yeah, very beautiful. Honestly, don't really have much else to say other than beyond that. It's a very beautiful music video. I think the colors especially pop out to me the most. They're a very blue-driven group, is something that I'm very noticing. Very heavy into their color aesthetic. Notice that in their debut music video. Their debut music video, I would say, was more of a K-pop music video than this. Their comeback title track music video seems to be way more actually similar to Hey Hey, way more filmic, way more narrative, kind of similar to their pre-debut teasers and such, which I actually really, really liked. If I were to, I don't know, pick one, I don't know. I think both style of music videos actually really work for this group. I think going back and forth was a good idea. I'm sure their next comeback will not be as narrative driven as this, and it'll be another like set music video, like cool kitschy sets like their debut stuff. But I think ultimately going for a bit more of a narrative driven music video like this was probably a smart idea, especially if you're more emotionally investing into the members. I think for the debut music video, I'm prattling on. The debut music video, it was much more important. They have like a set-driven video because it felt more like a presentation. And now this one, it feels a little bit more personable because of the way they shot this video. The way it's shot more like a high school slice of life sort of film feels, and quite literally what they're saying almost extends to the audience and the listener itself. If I'm an S, can you be my N? It's almost a proposal to the listener as well. All right, that is TWS's 내가 S면 넌 나의 N이 되어줘. Listen, I'll give that a solid 10 out of 10. That hits all the marks. Love that classic, refreshing boy group sound. Music video also just beautiful, stellar. But I'm saying that 10 doesn't quite live up to the extraordinary like 11 out of 10 I have to give Hey Hey. My standards are extremely high. Hey Hey is the song to beat for me. And I'm going to see if there's any other songs on the album that can even beat Hey Hey. So yeah, tune in for a listening party for To Us. Hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to 내가 했으면 넌 나의 N이 되죠. I'll see you in another video. Let me know what you guys thought about their first comeback. Bye.